There we go.
You seeing it?
Ooh, we're doing it. Now we just need to see Sean. Ask people if it. Hi guys.
So do you see me?
I see. I don't. I'm not on. I'm not going to be on Facebook because that creates an echo. But well, let me just really quickly check.
Okay, let me see. I do see you on Facebook.
Oh, hallelujah. Okay.
Okay,
We did it.
good.
All
All
right.
right.
We won.
Hello,
We won.
hello, hi, folks. Welcome. Let me adjust my mic. Oh my goodness.
Technology.
Hello, hi, folks. Welcome. Happy Thursday. In hopes that you squeezed more out of your day than the day squeezed out of you. I am Sean Azimi with SideGigSean.com, where I help you look, start, and grow your side business. And today, after 30 minutes of just trying to get on, I am so excited to welcome everybody to this episode of Thursdays with Sean. And you may, if you're in the profession, you definitely know of my guest. If you're not in the profession, well, if you don't know, now you know. You're gonna know. So you may know of my guest, but you may know of the glory, if you would, but you may not know the story. And this show is about showcasing the story so that the glory actually makes sense. So Margie, thank you for being here. Is it okay for me to brag about you just a little bit?
Yes, yes, I love it.
I am honored to have you on. If you don't know, let me just share with you a couple thoughts about Margie. If you say her name is synonymous with kindness and the best hugs on the planet Earth. I never forget the first hug I got from her. I never, ever will forget that. She has been in the profession for 34 years, and it happens to be with one company. Now, she started, I don't want to kill the story, but what I want to share with you is that in 34 years, she's been able to accomplish a whole heck of a lot. In fact, she's one of the top 100 earners in the world. What I want to share with you, what that means is this: if you took all the companies in the world, if you took all the distributors in the world, and if you took everybody who earns in that profession in the world, she is top 100 in the world. Margie, I cannot wait for this. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm so happy that we made it. You guys, thanks for hanging in with us. Technology. Woo. Anyway, so yeah, I'm really excited to be here, Sean, and really honored to be with you. I know if you follow Sean, you probably know him as, great guy, kind of funny, he's just awesome as a human being. But what you might not know is that he's really a big deal. Like, he's changing a lot of people's lives, making a difference on so many levels for people, not just in the United States and Canada, but across the globe. And so I want you to know that, because he's not one to toot his own horn. And I think the world of you, Sean.
Wait, this is supposed to be your show.
Okay. Let's make it about me now.
So for those of us who don't know you, just share a little bit about who Margie is, and then we'll get into it.
Thank you. So my story, as it pertains particularly to this business and so forth, started in 1989, as you said, 34 years ago. My situation at the time is that I was a single mom with 3 little children. They were 5, 4, and 2 years of age. I had no previous experience in business. I had no money to start a business with. And I was a junior high school music teacher who had just signed a contract to go back to teaching school begrudgingly, because I didn't want to leave my kids at home and miss their growing up years. A little backstory that I seldom share, Sean, is that when I started teaching in 1982 for my first year, it was 2 weeks after I'd given birth to my first son. And so 3 months into the school year, I found out I was pregnant again. So here I was coming home to my Nana's house and nursing my son at lunch, going back to school, kind of morning sick my own self because I was pregnant again, and just like doing it, just jamming, doing it. But then after I was home with him for Christmas, and I dropped him back at my mom's house to tend him for the hours I was at school, I literally sobbed all the way to school. And I thought, I can't do this. I've got to be able to be home with my kids. So you can understand the situation. There's a little more color than I normally share. But the situation I was in is I was weighing my options and thinking, I don't want to miss their growing up years. And so, destiny had a different plan for me, because just a couple of weeks before school started, and FYI, at the time I was Mrs. Utah, just kind of finishing the year out as Mrs. Utah. So the school I had signed with, the contract, they were advertising it. We have Mrs. Utah coming to teach music. Like I hate letting people down. So there were so many things that were pulling on me at the time.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. So I don't share this part very often. But when I saw this, I just knew. I knew that it was my answer. I made a whatever it takes decision. You've heard this part, that I was willing to do whatever it took, and I was going to make this work. So what that meant sometimes is I lived in Utah. If my team members in California, where we live now too, would ask me to come and do an event for them, I would jump in my car and drive, because I couldn't afford to fly. And I couldn't afford to stay in hotels. So I would sleep in my car in hotel parking lots. And then I would get dressed in the bathrooms of gas stations, put my curlers in my hair, throw on a dress, and go off to these meetings where I was promised 100 people. Maybe there were 10. And I just had this vision: join me. We're going to become millionaires, And so just willing to do absolutely whatever it took.
And this is the time, I want to stress this. This is a time that you have 3 youngins.
Yes. Yes.
I mean, this is early in the game.
Yes.
In the beginning.
Yes.
Right?
Very early. The very beginning.
And I love that part of the story, because I had not heard that part of the story. So,
Yeah.
and we haven't even started questions yet. And
we haven't.
You go. So if I were to take you back to 34 years ago, that first night that you joined the profession, that whole first month, if you would, what would you say, going back to that first month, what would you say was your challenge to get through?
Probably just figuring it out. I think a lot of times when people don't have the kind of success that they want, they blame their upline, they blame their sideline. These are terms we use in our business. If you're not from our profession, that just means the people who are your mentors, they tend to blame somebody, something other than themselves. I didn't have one. I didn't have anybody. So I had to look myself square in the mirror and just say, you got to figure this out. I met with some really early success. A lot of people were saying yes, but probably the biggest challenge in those first few months was figuring it out and trying to figure out how to duplicate, because it was one thing to have people saying yes, it was quite another to help them launch properly, right? Like, these are things I know now, but at the time I had to figure it all out, and I'm quite the systems girl. So I was looking for a duplicable system. And then I guess just the perennial challenge through all of those early years was just being torn about, the mommy guilt of,
I was gonna.
I gotta, I'm so torn. Like, I'm doing this so I can be more with my kids, but right now I would be with my kids more if I was working at McDonald's, right? Like, and so it was really just that challenge of keeping the vision strong until the results started happening. And I started getting a sense of, okay, this is happening, this is happening. But it's, so that was the perennial challenge, finding that balance, figuring out how to engage them so that they bought into my vision and that they never doubted for a minute that I was there, all of that. So getting started, figuring it out, finding a system. And when I did, oh my gosh, duplication started to happen, and it was great. So yeah.
You took a leap of faith, didn't
Oh, no
you?
question.
I
No
mean,
question.
I mean, you got that whole challenge of being in the business the first month, and you have the three kiddos.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't imagine. I mean, I don't have any kids, but I can't imagine what
Yeah.
would that be like, especially back then
Yeah.
when it wasn't as convenient as today. Like you said, you set up a meeting, 100 people, you go there, there's like 10 people there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Now
what
it's,
compels you to take that leap of faith, if you would?
well, a couple of things. First of all, the product. Like, if ever there was a time in my early life that I was looking for a job and looking at the want ads, I just skipped past the sales section. And I grew up in Utah, so I wasn't a stranger to network marketing, and it held no appeal to me at all until I saw this product. So two things that caused me to leap. One, the product. Two, I captured the vision, but a good part of it was around this product. So this product was a nail gel system, do it yourself at home. This is in 1989, right? I had been having gels put on my nails, and I knew I loved gels better than acrylics, better than any other nail things. And so when I saw this product, do it yourself at home, brush the gel and put them in the lamp, right? Like, I'm like, oh my gosh, I can sell this. Like, every home in America is going to own this. And me and my team, we're going to sell it. Like, and then the other part that was undeniable for me, Sean, is when I started to wrap my brain around the time money equation. As a school teacher, not as particularly a business person at all, it made sense to me that, you know what, I only have so many hours in a day. And as a school teacher, there are only so many dollars per hour they're going to pay me. I am stuck. I am trapped in an equation, in a scenario that is not going to get me where I want to go. And as soon as I started wrapping my brain around a leveraged income and, that time money equation, making it my own on my own terms, it's like I was in. And this product, right? Like, I was so undaunted and so compelled to just do whatever I needed to do to make it happen.
And I have heard that story. I've heard you talk about, and it's amazing. After all these years, you still are so passionate about that product, as if it's still here.
I made my first I made my first $1 million selling that product, right? Like,
oh, you did.
I was not wrong about that product.
I love it. Okay, so that brings me to the next one. Can you recall a time, a moment from your early days, all right, when you experienced a genuine joy or satisfaction, like you knew that you're reaping the seed that you sowed?
Yes. So my very first meeting in my home, 4 people came, 2 people joined, and I'm like, that's awesome. Ratios,
that's a pretty good ratio.
50%. So I doubled down on my efforts and invited twice as many people. And then I sat there the next week, sat there, and no one came. No one came. So I took myself to a movie. But over time, we were doing these home meetings where we'd do a demonstration, talk about the opportunity, how big the nail industry was, and we were going to take the world by storm with this product, right? We would do these home meetings, and it was an impressive demonstration. So sometimes I was doing 2 and 3 meetings a night. I would start one, go finish out another one, start another one, like just really doing a lot of presentations. So I had no idea how it was really growing, even though sometimes we might have 10, 20, 30 people, right? And volume was growing, check was growing, but I didn't know how it was really catching on. So I decided, this is just me trying to figure stuff out, that I wanted to do a training and invite everyone. So I got a room at the DoubleTree. And
love these
I
stories.
started inviting people, and just every time we were at a meeting, I'm like, hey guys, and we're going to do a meeting next Thursday at the DoubleTree, invite everybody. And so I got there really early, and I had everything set up. We put out about, I don't know, 20 or 30 chairs. And then it, 15 minutes to 10 minutes to, people started coming, like a lot of people. Like, I still get chills when thinking about this. Pretty soon, anyway, we were wheeling in chairs and putting them up and wheeling in chairs. Like, I had no idea that it was growing this much. And I just walked behind, in trade show or in hotel venues, how you can walk almost behind where you're out of sight, like behind the scene. I just sobbed, like,
Oh,
my gosh, it's working. It's working. We had 150 people come to that very first meeting at the DoubleTree, and I'm like, it's paying off, baby. So yeah, that was definitely an early joy down in my heart.
that's awesome. So I am sure that it hasn't been all joy and
No,
glory, right? You've had some bumps and challenges, right? Do you
yeah.
ever remember, like, I like to go, and the reason why I go back to the
Early
early
days.
days
Yeah.
is because a lot of the audience are that kind of audience. People are just getting started.
Yeah.
And again, they see the glory, but they don't know the story. And this is all
Yeah.
about the
I don't want to
story.
scare anybody. I don't want to scare
Yeah.
anyone. It's
Oh
easier
my God,
today.
your story is so amazing.
No,
It
it's
just,
easier now, right? When we can build our
yeah,
business in the palm of
I
our hand.
guess so.
It's
Yeah,
so different.
absolutely. I can't imagine back then, what it must have been like. Like, I picture you when you tell the story, like how you change in the bathroom,
Yeah.
the gas station
Gas
bathroom.
station. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you tell these stories, and I picture those days, and I'm like, wow,
I remember
no
them. Yeah.
wonder, right?
Yeah.
So, do you ever, like, the early days, do you
Yeah.
remember of a time where you're like, you know what, this is not, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm done.
Yeah.
I I am so
Um,
done. They were right. I'm gonna go back. Did you
the
ever come
answer
up with
is yes. And the details around that are that in those early days, I literally rebuilt my business from scratch 3 times.
oh wow.
And yeah, like for no reason, nothing, like nothing from me, but just, the challenges of a new company. I have to say, as much as I did come to love them and we healed everything, the owners were a little bit unscrupulous, and it was really hard. That was really hard. But it felt like it was 3 steps forward, 5 steps back, right? Like, and I think the final straw, like this is the 3rd time of going, okay, because at the end of the day, the nail product kind of ended out not being what we thought it was, caused all kinds of challenges, right? There were 3. And the 3rd one was that our owners at the time had a lawsuit against them that they wanted to get out of. And so they wanted to change the name, but in order for it to help them, so they had no successor liability. Maybe this is too much information, but bottom line is they made the name change. They changed the name from Images to New Ways, and they made everyone sign a new distributor application rather than mapping it over, because they needed it to feel like a new
Oh
company for
wow.
their benefit. Honey, my business went from 20,000 people to 10 overnight. Now I know 10,000 doesn't sound like nothing, but it was just the last straw for me. And I was so exhausted and so spent. I almost sold my business. I almost sold my business. And I'm so grateful that I didn't. What I did instead is I just took a moment to lick my wounds. And then I came back and I doubled down. I thought, you know what? If I can help everyone that's making, I don't even know if I have the heart to ever build again. I honestly had that feeling. This is in 1990, I don't know, 2, something like that. I don't know if I have the heart to build again, but I can come back and help my people. If I can help everyone who's making $300 make 600, everyone who's making 1,000 make 2,000, I can double my check and I won't have to go through the agonizing, maybe bringing somebody into some, yes. So the answer
Wow.
is yes, that was I almost stepped back time, but there are reasons I didn't. And I'm so grateful. So grateful.
It's amazing how you have stuck it out with one company. I
I'm
just,
resilient. I'm a
no,
persistent
yeah.
cat.
If anybody doesn't know you, you absolutely are. You are a ball of fire. You're just amazing. Which that actually kind of leads to the next question because the company has gone through some changes. Maybe that's one of them. But with like 34 years in the profession with the same company, do you remember a time where you had to like shift or
Pivot, yes.
pivot, like do a 180? Yeah, do a 180.
Yeah,
What was
yeah.
going through your mind? Like
Okay.
challenges?
Sure,
Maybe
sure, sure.
why did you even stick around?
Yeah, yeah. So for this one, let me take you back 10 years, right? So our US market, most of my business and most of my income was coming from the global markets, from Eastern Europe, from Japan, various international markets. Our US market was flat and small. And so in about 2013, there was and I've just been through owners, right? Private owners at first, then private equity owners, then them selling to another private equity. So this is when the second private equity company came in, and they brought in a whole new management team. They brought in some other leaders. And so we started collaborating. They came in with some really big ideas and big big vision. And so we started collaborating, and it became clear to me that I had some choices. I could have retired. Actually, my income was adequate. I could have retired at the time and just gone, you know what? 24 years, it's enough. It's enough.
Yeah.
But as we began to collaborate, what I knew is that I was going to have to humble myself and
Wow.
or quit and kind of prove myself again, which is like, do you not know who I am? Right. But they
All over
didn't. The
again.
new management team, of course, they knew of me, but I had to step back, make a decision, be willing to humble myself, prove myself again. But here's why I couldn't leave, because Sean, you now know these ideas that we were just percolating around a boardroom table, as we started to lay out this vision of what we hoped to achieve, how we were going to change the profession, how we were going to make it the people's opportunity, more people being able to win, lowering the bar so more people can succeed, being on trend with e-commerce, and making it just a conversational opportunity by leveraging social media. I heard all of this stuff and I'm like, oh my gosh, if we pull this off, these will be the finest days of my career. I am not going to miss this. And so I just humbled myself and stepped up, proved myself all over again. And yeah, that's
Wow,
it.
that's
That's a 180 pivot for shizzle.
for the audience who don't know, this is like inside stuff behind the scenes, like really good stuff. Um, yeah, that's a
Yeah.
that's a
Well, and
big
yeah,
moment.
the addendum to that vision and that decision, which was one of the best decisions I've made in my life, is that mission accomplished. We did it.
Yeah,
Everything that
yeah,
we talked about creating
you
in
guys have.
those boardrooms, that vision became a reality. And when I watched, Sean, can you even imagine, after seeing, our volume in the US be like 200,000 in 2020, I think, when things really caught a gear, and we went from 10 million a month to 40 million a month to and I just watched this. Can you imagine just the joy? It was almost like that moment when I went backstage in the hotel room, and just like when you pay the price and you hold a vision, which means the vision is it hasn't happened yet. There's no evidence that it is happening. And you hold to that vision and it becomes a reality, and you see the people winning, and you see it happening, and you see it encompassing the globe, and you see the fulfillment of that vision. It's a really, really sweet time. So mission
That's
accomplished on
amazing.
that one, honey. And this is what you and I share. This is what brought you and I together, right?
Absolutely.
That's
Would
why
you
we
say
go.
in the last 10 years, you've experienced the most growth in the 34 years?
100%. 100%.
Really?
In the US market. Like it's
Yeah.
pretty hard to beat some of the global growth that I have experienced in international markets. And, as you know, you and I are kind of focused on India right now, and we have a big.
You're amazing with it, internet. I mean, you even went to Iran. I remember.
I did go to Iran.
I
Yes.
remember you went there.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was
That's funny,
invited.
right?
What I learned
You're
once
amazing.
I got there is that I was the first Western female ever to take the stage outside of academia, to take the stage on the topics of entrepreneurship, personal
Oh my
development,
God, of
leadership.
course.
The first, right? It was quite
That was unbelievable. Yeah.
awesome experience. Yeah.
Which actually kind of leads me to this question then. When do you feel like, I mean, you've gone through so much, right? You've seen, I would probably say you've seen pretty much
I've seen a
everything,
lot.
right?
I've
Yeah,
seen a
you've seen a
lot.
lot, right?
I've seen a lot. Yeah.
When would you say, like, when was that moment you'd say, oh, this was a defining moment? This was, maybe you have a couple of, you have a defining moment that you say, oh, you know what?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I know exactly. So, and it was early on again, right? At some point, the decision and the conviction was so deep that I wasn't really rethinking it anymore, right? Like I'd made the decision, non-negotiable, I was all in. So a lot of these defining moments did happen early on, and they happen around my children, because my children are my everything, right? FYI, those kids that were 5, 4, and 2, I had another child a few years after that. They are now 41, 40, 38, and 31, FYI. And the greatest joy of my life. And they have given me 11 grandchildren,
Wow.
which the oldest is 6, right?
Oh, my
So
goodness.
this, a little interjection, but so I'll take you back to this home meeting time, right? I was kind of at that time where, wondering if it was going to pay off, but trudging off to these meetings, being gone night after night, my parents helping me, and being with the kids. And this one particular night, I was heading off to go to yet another meeting where there were tons of people promised, and there were probably going to be 10, right? And I was pulling out of the driveway. My little son, Todd, who's now 38, came running out in his soccer pajamas, just crying, "Mommy, don't go. Mommy, don't go." And so I stopped the car. I got out, went over and picked him up and held him, put his head, nestled it in my shoulder. And what he couldn't see is that I was crying too. This was a moment of exhaustion and a moment of wondering, is it going to pay off? Am I making this time away from them count? Just all those things. I could have so easily said, you know what? Screw it. I'm coming in. Let's hang out, right? But I don't even know where it came from, but from someplace inside me, I said, "Todd, please be a big boy. Go inside. Don't cry. And I promise you, someday I will take you everywhere I go." Well,
And you have.
I delivered.
Yes.
Mission accomplished. Mission accomplished.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
I love that story. That's such a powerful story. Okay, I'm not a parent, and I feel the power in that story. I can only imagine what a mom or a parent would feel like,
Yes.
I mean, I've heard that story and still brings tears to my eyes because I can put myself in that situation as
Yes,
a
and
kid.
it was so awesome for them to actually meet the people whose lives I was impacting when they saw them and it became real. And then they themselves sometimes would even stand in line signing autographs, right? Like it, and then of course, just our travel, like they've just been all over the world with me.
And you have proved that over the years, they've seen what you do, what it takes.
Yes,
They've
yes.
seen the fruits. It's not when you said someday, you delivered.
Yeah, I'm still
You
delivering.
meant it. You
I'm
kept your
taking
promise.
everyone. Yeah, I'm taking everyone, grandkids included, to Mexico for Christmas, before Christmas.
Am I adopted yet into that?
Oh, that's right. You are adopted. You are adopted. Official bag carrier.
That's awesome. So being a top earner, now we talk about a lot of the early days. There's this, I would say there's this common misconception, just that, hey, you know what? She's on top of the world. She's one of the top 100 earners on the planet. Like, what problems could she have?
In network marketing, let's clarify.
In the profession, yeah, in the
In the profession, yeah.
What kind of challenges would she have? She doesn't understand, right? So what are some of the challenges that you're experiencing in a professional life as a top earner now, 34 years after?
I just went through what might be one of the hardest things I've ever had to deal with in my network marketing career. And as you know, because we've been building India together, and I started there in late 2020, early 2021. I've been there 7 times. And the very first person that said yes to my business was a man named Sanjeev Gupta. And we quickly became like twin souls. We could finish each other's sentences. He was there through everything. He was there to pick me up at the airport. We did all of these things together, but I could even, this is how connected we were. I could even be thinking, oh my gosh, I need to ask Sanjeev this. And I would go over to my phone, ready to voice memo him and ask him a question. He had already answered it. Like, we were just like, it was insane.
Wow.
I had just been there in April, and we had a wonderful time with his wife, and he at his home. They fixed me an amazing meal, and I got to be in his space and really feel his life. And he was so lit up, ready to set the world on fire after that last visit this April. On May 26th, he passed away. And truly, this is the first time I'm like, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to do this without him. I mean, aside from the loss. And I've had so many affirming experiences, right? Steve Jobs says, you can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking back. And I can see now so many of the challenges that I went through, like I can connect the dots and I can praise those hard things that made me who I am, or that made a difference in somebody's life. But this one's still, and granted, everyone's rallied and everyone's doing it, and they're doing it for him and they're doing it for themselves. Things are growing and it's so amazing, but I look forward to the time when it makes more sense, because I can't connect the dots now. It just is just tremendous sense of loss and moments of saying, I don't know how to do this without him, but one step at a time, right? And I believe there'll be a day when it makes sense. And anyway, so yeah, that might be one of the hardest things. It's just not something you anticipate, right? You anticipate people leaving. You anticipate people saying yes and then not doing anything. You anticipate all kinds of stuff, but you don't anticipate someone that had become a literal soul brother leaving at the exact same age. He and I are the exact same age, 66, too young. However, I still feel like he is so with me and still guiding. Yeah, no question. So yeah, that's a tough one.
I mean, for anybody who doesn't know you, that when I say you're all heart, I mean, you're all heart. I got to know Sanjeev with you for a very short period of time, and he had such an impact in my life. A very short, and I
Oh,
never met him, never shook hands with him. Had such an impact in my life. But for you to be connected with somebody across the planet, like across the world,
yeah.
and to have that kind of a connection, that kind of a bond that starts as a professional bond, and then I mean,
Yes,
literally
yes,
just, grows into just this massive friendship
yes,
and
yes. And
connection, and it just unreal. You can't explain it. You really can't.
competent. You put 1,200 people in the business in the first year. Like
I
he's really
love the guy.
competent. Yeah, yeah.
I
He-
miss,
he-
definitely, his spirit is there, definitely around, and
Yeah.
and it's funny you say that, because how else would you have met him if
No,
you weren't in this
exactly.
profession, right?
Exactly. And I've got the Zoom from the first time
Oh,
we met, and I have him saying yes. And yeah, I
it,
guess that's the price you pay for love, right?
yeah. So you met him, and it was an instant connection, right? You were
Yeah.
like, so let's say, for example, you're at a coffee shop at Starbucks,
Yep.
and let's switch the channel, right?
Okay, okay,
You
okay.
meet you meet another person. You meet somebody else in line at Starbucks at a coffee shop, and the conversation turns into, network marketing and the profession, and you find out that they are so anti.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
they're like so skeptical, and they have no idea.
Shocker.
Yeah, they have no idea who you are. So if you know you're not gonna see this person again, like what is one thing that you tell them?
Well, so first of all, yeah, obviously you come across this often, right? People that have misconceptions or they had a bad experience. I ask them more questions. Oh, tell me about that. Oh my gosh, no doubt, no doubt. Listen, I've been in the profession long enough to know that there are
Mm,
companies that do it right, companies that do it wrong. Tell me it all, and so I just let them spool
I
it
love
all
that.
out, and I listen and listen and listen, because there's no place to start until they feel heard. And then, I get it. I might comment, you know what? I know a lot of people that had a similar experience. Dude, you're not wrong. Not every company has integrity. Not everyone, so I even validate. I've seen it. And people get jaded. And then I just say, do you mind if I share my perspective? And they
Mm,
always say yes, because I've listened longer than I've talked. And then I just
mm,
say, so let me just share my experience. I was a single mom, junior high school music teacher when I found this business. And there is nothing on earth, no business on earth that could have given me the lifestyle, the freedom, the time freedom, and the financial freedom that this had. So put that in your files, and at least one person who is indebted and grateful for this profession. And if you're ever interested in hearing more about it, I'm your girl.
I I love it. Do I sign now, or what
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I love it. So with that, let's say the next day you meet somebody else at that Starbucks, and this person is actually is in the profession. They just got in the business maybe about a month, like you have, and you can see like the spark in their eyes. They're all
Yeah.
fired up. They opened the coat. They got all the products right here.
Yeah.
Right? What would you say to that person if you were going to leave an impression knowing you're not going to see that person again?
I would say plant your flag and plant it firmly. Make a non-negotiable decision. Be willing to do whatever it takes. Do not count your results and revenues this year. Just move into massive action. I really do believe, as Bob Proctor said, that success loves speed. And I would encourage them to back burner everything, leave it all on the table and really go after it, because you can, in your first 90 to 120 days to your first 6 months, create something that will last in perpetuity. I honestly, the very first person that ever said yes to me in my business is still with me. She's been a social marketer on and off, and she's been a customer. She stays. I still have people that have been with me for 32 years. And, so I would just say, plant your flag, do it firmly. And then also from a posture standpoint, I would say, realize you're the one with the gift. Like if I was speaking to someone in our company, I would say the words, and excuse me for just actually even mentioning the name of our company. Everybody probably knows anyway, but you are the Modair Santa Claus. So recognize you're the one with the gift, and you're only looking for those who are looking for you. Because in the beginning, when the rejection is happening, you do need a little stronger posture, and you need to be reminded that you're the one with the gift. You have a gift, you have products that can change lives. You have a business model that somebody can start that gives them a level playing field, that can help them create a leveraged income and make a difference in the world, make money while making a difference. Like, you're the one with the gift, my friend. So go after it with everything you've got. That's what I would say.
Love it. Look at you. Bringing the fire. I love it.
Baby.
So you've been in the profession 34 years, right?
Yeah.
I keep saying this because I think it's such a big deal, right? And I love and I honor our time together. I can't thank you enough.
I love you, Sean.
Thank you so much. 34 years, you've literally achieved iconic status in the profession. If there was a Hall of Fame of network marketing, I know you'd be in it for sure. I know. So what, you go back and you think, you're like, okay, she's a high school music teacher, a junior high music teacher. Like, I'm going back. I don't know you today.
Yeah.
3 kids, single mom.
Well, 4 now. 4, we'll call it
4 now. Okay.
Yeah.
And back then though.
Yeah.
Back then.
Right.
3 kids, single mom, and then and now I look, top 100 in the world, just an icon status. So what would you say some of the personal qualities, strategies, some of the things that took you from that end to today?
Well, I have grit.
Yeah.
And I am perseverant. If anybody saw how many times we tried to make this work on Facebook, we kept trying. I'm perseverant. I just don't give up easily. Napoleon Hill says that successful people in any walk of life make decisions quickly and firmly. And I kind of put myself in that category. It didn't take me long before this made a lot of sense. I said yes fast. And I did not say I'm quitting easily, right? So the perseverance piece, I've got a really good work ethic. I've been committed since I was a young girl, probably early 13, 14 years of age, that I started personal development. So I'm always wanting to be a better person. I want to make a difference in this world. Like I brought a lot of really good qualities. But truth be told, I'm not even remotely that same young girl that said yes. Like, this business has helped me become a person that frankly I really like.
We all love.
Thanks.
We all really love.
Resilient. Let me just say that. Like, resilient is probably one of my favorite words in the English language, and it means more to me than just bouncing back, right? Resilience is your ability to bounce back after a disappointment. To me, it also means that you can find the silver lining, the gift, because every hard thing has a gift. And sometimes you can't see it in the moment. You see it in retrospect. But the ability to be resilient means you can find the gift in even the darkest hour.
What a great point. I love that. Yeah, just the focusing on that one light, even if it's just one little light. And you do that. And the thing is, I see that every day in you. You're a perfect example. You lead by example. I would not want to end this conversation, but you do have to. I did take half an hour in the beginning of your time. I'm sorry to get started.
I don't care. Just I'm glad we were able to finally bring it.
I'm so happy we were able to do this. This has been amazing. I want to leave the audience and the show with this question from you.
Okay.
How does Margie Aliprandi does want to be remembered?
Oh, I would want every person whose path I crossed to be a better person because I was in their life. I have a huge passion for women's empowerment. I believe that entrepreneurship changes the world. My legacy will be that I've breathed entrepreneurship into so many people's lives. I'll share an interesting story really quickly. Probably not the one you think. I'll share a story about when I was on my way to India in April. And as you know, myself and a few other women came together almost a decade ago as well and started a women's philanthropic program called Women United for Change. And in April, it was, I think, International Women's Day, and I was getting ready to leave. So I was leave for India. So I was doing a lot of reach outs to people, asking them, please, to open doors for me in India. And I was telling them, guys, let me tell you what I'm seeing. I'm seeing these women who have maybe just they've been housewives, they've just done, and no dissing on housewives, man. I like, that's the biggest job is. I've done that one too, right? So, but just I'm seeing in India these women who are rising up and taking this business seriously, and I watch their lives change. I see the power they embrace. I watch them get up on stage. I see their kids, their daughters and sons, looking at them with eyes like, I want to just be like mom. I watch the ripple effect into the family, into the community. And please open doors for me in India of women and men, women who might want to be a part of this, right? So I'm saying this, reaching out to a lot of people. Then I was getting ready to do a raise for International Women's Day. And I found I was saying the same thing. We've created a platform where women, for $50, a woman can be a part of a program that teaches her entrepreneurship, helps her take ownership of her life. I've been to Tanzania. I've been to Guatemala. We've seen firsthand the results. And I realized that I was saying my pitch for business and my passion project was identical. And I thought to myself, I am on purpose. So my legacy is breathing the gift. I think it changes the world, entrepreneurship. Giving that gift to as many people through the philanthropic and through our beautiful business in India and all over the world. This is my legacy. And yeah, I just want people to feel my love for them. And my why back then was my children. And you know what's crazy? It's now my grandchildren. Like, I want to show them how 60, 70, 80, I want to show them how that can look. Now my goal is, mission accomplished on giving my kids a better life, and they're all entrepreneurs. And when I see who they've become, all that mommy guilt just fades away, because I was constantly concerned that I was ruining them because I wasn't there enough. And now I see that partially who they are today is because I was a scrappy entrepreneurial mom. And now today, I want to make them proud of me. And I want those grandbabies to see what entrepreneurship and taking ownership of your own life can look like. So that's me, baby.
Margie, I love and I adore you. Thank you for who you are. thank you for saying yes 34 years ago. Thank you.
And
Thank you
yes, every
for
day.
sending Todd back into the house saying, hey, get back in there. I'm going to this meeting. Do you have any, I mean, that's a mic drop moment, but do you have any lasting thoughts as we
I
wrap
guess
this
I
up?
would just say, you know, life is short. We're here for a few breaths. It's awesome, the business, it's awesome, passive income, it's awesome, the things, the experiences, the travel, the all of it. But when it comes right down to it, we're only here for a minute. So don't
Hmm.
waste your minutes. Make them count. Be bold. Step out of your comfort zone. Do something you've never done before and make your life count so that when you look back, you don't have a single regret and you just celebrate who you've become. Because at the end of the day, all the things we amass, they stay behind. But who we become and who we help other people become, I believe that transcends the grave.
Margie, I love you and I adore you. With that, I appreciate you. Thank you, everybody. I know this served you well because, I mean, there's just no way that this didn't serve you well. So, I mean, this is just so much stuff. Thank you, Margie.
I
If
love you,
feel like-
John.
thank you. Thank you. I love you and I adore you.
Emotional.
Yes, if you guys feel like this was worthy of sharing, do what you gotta do. Spread the love, tag a couple people. Margie and I will go back to the comments because we can't see the comments. We'll go back to the comments.
We will, and we'll respond.
Yeah, definitely. And with that, thank you again, Margie. I really appreciate you, love you, and adore you, and can't wait
Love you
to
too,
see you
baby.
in person.
Love you.
Bye, you guys. Thank you again.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.